America, or we went from proudful people to actually not even caring about anything, not caring about how we dress, not caring about how we carry ourselves or conduct ourselves in the public. Go ahead, Brian. What's going on with you, man?
What's happening, Doc? How you doing, man?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I
That's
want to
what's
ask you a
up.
question, man. I want to ask
Yeah,
you,
go ahead.
to the title. When did the black community lose its dignity?
I believe that the generation after essentially like Title IV started, that generation after
So what
we
is Title
lost the
Four?
fathers. Title IV is back when they when we got public assistance, the free lunch program, all of that kind of stuff, basically public aid, Section 8 housing, where all of the benefits of the government that were afforded to black well, not just blacks, but people who did not have fathers in the home. So that was one of the
Mhm.
stipulations. You couldn't have a man in the house and those kinds of things. So they wanted to essentially use the government resources to break down the leadership in the family, which
Mhm.
is basically leaving it to where families were at risk. That's why we have terms like at-risk youth and those
Mhm.
kinds of things. So regardless of what environment you grew up in those circumstances that may have been surrounding you, when you had fathers, you still had that centurion at the gate. You still had that gatekeeper. You still had that that leadership in the house. And
Mhm.
that leader was the one who determined what the children did, how the children behaved. They were the ones that held everybody in the family accountable.
Mhm.
And when the government eliminated that, in order for you to take advantage of those freebies, if you will, and they eliminated that father being in the household, those fathers were out in the streets still, and they were still around to some degree, but from prison and all of those kinds of things that took place, drugs, with the
Mhm.
release of shit like Superfly and the Mac, that was one of the most detrimental movies, two of
Hey,
the most
Charleston.
detrimental
Yeah,
movies to our
Charleston White talked
community.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we didn't have people. I mean, because movies are movies, and movies have always been around, especially real bad movies. But when you don't have a father around to tell you what's real and what's not, I remember when Boys in the Hood and all that kind of stuff came out. My father
Mhm.
wouldn't let me go watch Boys in the Hood the first time until I went with him, because
Yeah.
he really wanted to talk to me about the movie and
Even
didn't want me
more
to buy into. Yeah, he didn't want me to buy into the
the whole narrative.
the glorification of that
Mhm.
thug mentality and that thug culture.
And one
As
one of the things with
yeah.
Boys in the Hood, just to interrupt you right quick.
Mhm.
Well, Boys in the Hood, that's what a term, and a lot of people said, don't serve in the military, right? Don't go
Yep.
to the military, right? Because it ain't black men ain't got no place in the
In the
military.
military. Yep.
So would you go on? Why would you go over and fight some white man's war? But I think
Yeah.
that's one of the greatest servitudes you can do for your country, and it's not just even for your country; it's for your community, and you can self benefit from it because
Yep.
you get all of these different benefits. You get,
Yeah.
you know,
And I
health.
played into that myself.
Mhm.
I was ignorant to that. I
Oh yeah.
wish I probably would have went into the military. However, had I gone at the time that I would have been eligible to go, I would have fucked around and been in not one but two wars,
Hmm.
which probably could have fucked me up to some degree, because I probably would have went to the Marines or to the Army. So I would have
And
definitely
yeah,
been
we're
on the front
armies, yeah.
lines.
And you don't go armies.
Yeah, yeah, I would have been on the front lines.
Yeah,
So I
it's
probably would have
crazy.
got fucked around a little bit, been a little shell shocked and that kind of stuff. But I tell young men all the time, especially when I'm talking to them, I don't never tell. I tell them they're sorry, but I tell them not to go to the Army, not to go to the Marines. Get your ass in the Air Force, where you
Mm.
can go in there, you can be laid back, and you ain't got to worry about marching on the front lines or some shit getting dropped
But
on you from some crop duster or them
no,
injecting some shit
that's not
into you.
always true.
I
Army
know.
they do have some of their bases that are in places. Even Space Force, they took one of their first casualties from the Iran conflict.
Yeah.
Air Force, they got some guys, and then you get the PJs, parajumpers. Then
Yep.
you have other, you know,
Yeah.
uh,
It's just minimal to me from my like I said,
yeah.
I don't know the ins and outs of it, but that's why I've always recommended that, if you
Mm.
if you like water, you swim, you like being on boats, hey, maybe try the Navy. But I know too many of my friends that have gone and been in the Army, whether they were reserves or full time or they've been in the Marines. A lot of them motherfuckers are crazy. Just my experience. I'm just saying.
Well, you know, I'm about to take some resentment to that, man.
You can.
I was 8 years in the Marine Corps. I mean, well, if you ask my wife or you ask my mama, my mother says, "Oh, you didn't go over there like that. You came back like that." But what?
I'm just telling you, dog. I'm telling you, my niggas that I know. I'm just saying, my niggas. Oh yeah, there's some shit wrong with them, but most of them, for the most part, only like maybe two. Yeah, really like only two are really like they just like all the way fucked up.
Yeah,
you know, where they can't function, but the majority of them, they all right and they cool cats, my brothers to this day, but they got some couple of screws all loose.
But you know one thing, one thing is, people, they call you crazy till they need to do some crazy shit, right?
Hey, that's why I keep them around, baby.
my mother say I need you to come over here and get this or do that, and the Marines have landed, and I'm like, Mom.
Yeah, exactly.
But, to get into the discussion, right? Some of the young girls are, they emulating the older girls. They they want the skirts very high, right? Booty cheeks are out. I'm gonna show you some videos, and not to say what their age is. I don't know what the ladies in some of the videos, what their age was. They look like they could be starting college. They look like they could be senior years, sophomore year. But I'm seeing this more prevalent in high school, where you get the bit of freedom where you can, wear what you want to. And then Illinois, like I said, Illinois has laxed its school standards for uniforms and for dress attire. And from what I've been reading, DEI is one of the reasons they blame. And I got an article I'm gonna read, just a few, but I do want to read this post. This is from, I wanted her to get on the show, but I don't know if she got busy. But Ginger Norman, she said, the amount of ass cheeks that I see at these suburban high schools need to be studied. How the fuck the schools allow the girls in class with ass cheeks hanging out? As a parent, how are you allowing that to leave your house? When I was in urban high school, our skirts had to be 2 inches above the knee. We had to wear collared shirts and we couldn't wear jogging pants. She said, I'm about to start a petition. And just so we clear, I'm talking about Dwight's. And she's about the Dwight's, but we know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And I talked to her. She did say it was out in Downers Grove.
Okay.
All right. So Downers Grove, you know how that is. It's a well-to-do area, right?
Yep.
What do you think about that? What do you think about this statement?
I think that it's twofold. Number one, we have just been over-sexualized and we've allowed children to do it. But I believe that the parents are with the shits, which is why it's the way that it is. There's no way to this, like right now, there's certain things that my daughter cannot wear. She's 13.
No.
There's just certain things she can't wear.
6.
I don't give a fuck what school she's at, whether she's at, fucking East Side High, or if she's at Beverly Hills, 90210. There are certain things that she just cannot wear. And that's because of her father. Plain and simple. But in these schools, I gotta call a thing, and I gotta admit, some of these teachers are worse than the students.
You know what? Thank you.
I'm just saying, I just gotta say it. Some of these teachers are worse than the students because I understand why the teenagers are wearing it. They're wearing it to be accepted by their peers, and they're wearing it for attention. These fucking teachers coming in there with their ass and they titties talking about, I'm just big side. I mean, it's hard for me to cover this up. Bullshit. It's a thing to where they want that attention too. These teachers that are seeking the attention of these young boys, it's problematic. The men ain't doing it. Niggas ain't coming in, and these male teachers are not coming to school with the gray sweatpants on. They're not doing that. They're just not doing it. I'm just saying they are not doing it.
You're 100% right.
It's the women that are doing it. Whether it's administrative or if it's the teachers and faculty or staff, they all doing the shit for attention. Whether they're trying to get the attention of the young boys or they're trying to get the attention of the janitor or the engineer of the building, or whatever vendor that come and drop off the milk and cookies every day, they're trying to do it for that attention. Why would we have a problem with attire in a school system or school setting? What would be the purpose of that? Why are teachers wearing red bottoms? For what?
And you know what? That's one question to ask. If they're wearing red bottoms, how you afford that? What's the salary of a teacher?
They talk mostly about, the principals. Yeah. The principals make all the money, in especially in Chicago public schools. The people that make all the money are the people that ain't in the classrooms. That's just how it's been historically. If you a principal, assistant principal, or you somewhere high up on the staff, the school psychologist or something like that, those are usually the 3 or 4 people that's making all the money. And then everybody else that's downtown in CPS, them motherfuckers getting all the money, or at the little regional offices or whatever, they're getting all the money. And that's the problem with the school system. You spending billions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars, depending on your ISD, your school district, and y'all are spending this money, but the money is going to these teachers, to these administrators. I'm the administrator of such and such. When was the last time you was in the classroom? Oh, about 15 years ago. But you telling us what the kids need, and you're the one that's granting or denying certain things and permissions and all that kind of stuff. Why do you need to make $100,000 a year? Why are you making $140,000? You're making anywhere between $60,000 to $80,000 more than your line level school teacher. Why? What do you bring to the table? And those people that are in your position, what are y'all bringing to the table to help further the minds of the future? And y'all sitting up in some office somewhere that's not even in a school.
Man.
I'm just telling you, I'm just telling you what I know. And you talking about something. I was an instructional school, so basically a teacher's aide. I was an instructional assistant for 4 years, 5 years. And it's like, I saw what it was. I saw how they did things. And it's the bureaucracy that's the problem. Schools don't have money and they don't have resources because they are literally just mismanaging the money. You got 8 or 9 people talking about, I'm the regional this, I'm the director of that, I'm this. All I need for you to do is to tell me what's in this book and impart it into my children. Why do I need 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 people that ain't even in a classroom in a school building to help me do that?
Yes. So one of the things is right. The people do not check and see how this money is being spent. They don't check on the school board. They don't check on the township. They don't check on the county. They don't check where the money's coming from. Right.
Nope.
So all this money is going over here, go over there. And then we like, why we got dilapidated books? Why do we have outdated computers? Why do we have to crowdsource? Right. Why do we have to crowdsource? I'm trying to look. Your browser has blocked your screen. Click the screen icon in your address bar to allow access. Well, I think I'm broadcasting, so I'll figure that out later. But so the thing is, people do not care about what the money's been spent. But and I'm gonna read this comment for you. Right, this is comment on the same post, and she said, I know she's a teacher, and so I don't want to say her name because I don't want her to get in trouble. And you'll be surprised at what these parents will fight for. Not curriculum, but coochie cutters. Daughters be dumb as hell, but don't dare ask her to cover her cat. She put the emoji and whatnot. Don't dare ask her to cover her cat. Right?
Yeah. And
if you do that, then it becomes a contentious issue. Now I want to fight you. Now, oh my God, you trying to make me this. And I find it hard. And I think, when Tommy has said before, find it hard to be on your side when you don't want to capitulate, when you don't want to actually do what's right and stay within regulations. I can't fight for you then.
Yeah.
Right. But you want to fight the system. You want to go up there. You don't even care where the money's being spent, but you care that your daughter gets to wear these coochie cutter shorts in class. That is ass backwards. It's ass backwards.
Yep.
Right. Yep. So go ahead.
My thing is just that I do believe that these schools should have, especially inner city schools, you should have dress codes. However, I believe the dress code should be for everybody, staff included. When you go into an Apple store, what do you see? Everybody's wearing khakis and polos. Why can't you do the same thing for schools? Because it takes all of the guesswork out of what I'm aware. It takes away the shame of the kids who don't have.
Mhm.
It takes away all of the issues of saying this too short, that's too tight.
But you,
All you have to do is make sure it's fit, and
but
you're
but
good.
but don't you know? But somebody, that's funny. Somebody said, you know, Trump hates black people, whatever. Don't you know that would be too much like right though?
That's all I'm saying. And my thing is this, and it also brings back, like you were talking about with the dignity and the pride in your school. It's branding.
Mhm.
Branding your school, branding your school district, whatever the
Mhm.
case may be, so that your kids are, and you don't have to get the worst of the worst. You can get some real nice, some fresh gear, whatever. You go and partner up with Nike and say,
Mhm.
hey, we want, what would it look like for Nike to partner with the school districts to come up with, you know, a school line?
Mhm.
Khakis and polos. You got female polos, male polos, you got
Mhm.
men's khakis, women's khakis. You're done.
And you know what? And when I was in high school, we had a place that was called Hildebrand. You go to get all your sports stuff. They had all of the high school stuff, right? Proviso East, everybody, class of 99. You had all of that. You had all of that different stuff that you can go there. You can actually, you know, get your school spirit, get your athletic stuff if you needed athletic stuff. And it was great because they had, I know they had to deal with the district. They were in the district, so I know they had a what's name. But I do want to play this video for you. And I want to get your reaction on it. Can you see it?
It's just a still shot.
Okay. Now let me get the other one. See if I can get this one. Nope. Don't know why it's okay. We already watched that one. That's the one I played from the beginning. If I have to go back,
If it's a link, you can send it to me. I can see if I can play it.
No, it's already brought in.
Okay.
See if we can.
There
There we go.
There we go. Okay. Crazy.
Yeah. And so what I did was I went to TikTok, of course. Went to TikTok and I said schoolgirl outfits or you know, school outfits. And I looked and I was just like, hey, like I said, I don't know how old she is. Let's say she's a senior. Let's say she's a junior, even if she's in college, right? No matter what, that is not appropriate for high school. 18, as long as I'm not paying for the college, go do what you want to do. Right. Yeah. But still, you're still going to instill in your child that, hey, you want to carry yourself like a lady. Right. Yes. I understand that all the ladies that may get attention are wearing this. Right.
Yeah.
But we're not even ladies. Let's just say all the hoes are wearing it. But if you're a lady, you know, carry yourself different. But that one right there. Right. What do you think about that?
It goes back to the thing of saying it's not appropriate, period, to where it should not be in a school setting. Mm-hmm. If you want to wear that to a birthday party, you want to wear that to your friend's party, you want to wear that wherever else you want to go. There's certain attire for certain venues. There's certain attire that you wear for certain things. If you went into a hospital and your doctor came out dressed like that, that would be weird as fuck, and you would be concerned. Like, what the fuck? Why does my doctor have on fucking Daisy Dukes? Fuck a lab coat. I'm here to check your vitals and all this shit. Why would you be dressed like that? It's just like when you go to the hospital. What do you see? You see scrubs and you see lab jackets. Why?
Oh, wait, Brian, hold on. Because think about it. Now you see the scrubs, right? And what are the nurse babes doing?
Yes, that I was about to say that. You see scrubs and you see lab jackets. And even though some people try to get extra attention, they still wearing their scrubs.
You're right.
So
You're
I can
right.
have a conversation. Even I can have that conversation now because it's not that you're not in uniform, but it's how you're wearing the uniform. And I can come to a nurse, me being I'm the hospital administrator, I can come and say, look, Mrs. Jones, those scrubs, I know that they are, that you may have a problem, wearing different kinds, but those are too tight. And I can leave it just like that. Well, it's the way of my shape. You need to buy a bigger size. Well, I don't want it to look frumpy. Well, you're not here for that.
Lose weight.
Yes, you're not here for that. We're not here for you to determine and for you to be comfortable in how you look. You are here to do a job and to provide a service that we are paying you for. That was just like when I worked at Best Buy. We had a uniform. Not only did we have a uniform, but we had a code of conduct as to how we wear that uniform. So I couldn't take my Best Buy shirt and cut it off in the middle and have my navel out. Not in uniform. I couldn't have it to where my Best Buy uniform wasn't washed and I smelled. Not in uniform. I couldn't wear my motherfucking, even when I was in Geek Squad. It wasn't until maybe I was there the first 2 years I was there. You Geek Squad agents, we were mandated to flood or you were not in proper uniform. Because that was the look. That was the brand. So it's like when you at least have boundaries, you can then govern within that because the majority of people are not going to go out and buy scrubs that's going to make their ass look bigger.
Yes.
They're not going to do that. You're going to have a few, but you can correct those because you can say, look at everybody else. The majority of our nurses, the majority of our doctors, they don't have lab coats that are on them like fucking mini skirts.
But Brian, that's racist though. They know black women have.
It is racist because only niggas want to do stupid shit like that. So yes, I would be discriminating. Yes, that's exactly what it is racist because only niggas want to go and wear scrubs that are so tight that your ass crack is showing because you got it around the bottom part of your ass like some fucking apple bottom G's. Yep, that it is. And that's the thing.
And the club said you can go do what the fuck you want to, but you at work.
Exactly. You want to go out like Miss Parker out watering her flowers and shit with them Daisy Dukes on? Hey, by all means, go ahead.
But hold on. Don't over-sexualize them, though. Remember, don't over-sexualize them because she has to be comfortable when she goes out and water her grass.
And we can't. Right. But hey, at least I give Miss Parker her props because at least she knew what she was doing. She wanted the boys to look. She wanted anybody else to look and give her because she wanted that smoke. She wanted that attention. Was over there. That's why he was there. You can go in here for a little prayer.
Miss Parker.
Get some prayer, Miss Parker. The Lord is my shepherd. He know what I want. That's what you gonna do. But it's like, and that's the thing. It's like we have gotten to a place where we don't have lines drawn. We want to blur the lines everywhere we go. Whether it's a DEI line or whether it's I'm black and I want to do what I want to do line. It's like even when people were talking about arguing about people wearing their uniforms at these fast food restaurants, they should be able to wear what they want. No, they shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't.
If I have a business and I have a certain look for my business, and my business is clean cut, my business is shirt tucked in, that's the image I want to present. You don't get to come and show up with your shirt hanging out because you got double F size breasts. I'm sorry. You either wear it and be uncomfortable or you don't work here. You can't wear purple and blue hair. Why? Because that's not the image that I'm selling. I'm selling a product and my image matters.
What about the Crown Act? Brian, they need the Crown Act.
Stuff like that. Like the Crown Act, I get to wear and people. And that was the biggest thing about me with the Crown Act was that y'all know how it is in week 3 of that weave. Y'all know what it's like in week 6 with them box braids. Y'all know what the texture looks like in week 8. Y'all know what it smells like in week 2.
Corn chips.
So it's like y'all know what this is, but because y'all want to front, because y'all know people that get them $400, $500, $600 hair dudes with them braids and stuff in it, Y'all
Mhm.
know they ain't going every 2 weeks.
No.
We go get our haircut every week, every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know when I get them braids and I done sat on the floor for 15 hours, I'm not about to do that again next week. I'm gonna wear these until they about to mess up my scalp.
Mm-hmm. There was a woman that got mad because I told her, I said, really, men don't like weave like that, right? And it became a contentious, it became a contentious issue. And she was like, and I was telling her, I said, well, it just seems like you don't have self-confidence. You're not confident in yourself to wear your own hair. And she said, okay. Then she got mad and was like, oh, okay, I don't have self-confidence. I'm like, that's unnecessary. That's not what I'm not trying to tell you that you just hate yourself. What I'm saying is you wear your own hair, you take care of it, you take pride in it, right?
Bro, women could be bald-headed and men are still fucking.
Still
I've never, ever in all my 52 years, I've never heard of any of my friends, and I've never heard of any man being anywhere and saying, man, look at that weave in her hair. Ooh, them blonde 32-inch braids, bro. Oh my God. Never.
Never.
I've never heard it. I've never heard it at all. So the whole idea of trying to make it say this is something we want, it's a bunch of nonsense. Do men like long hair? Yes, I am a long hair, don't care kind of guy. But I don't want it to be yucky. I don't want it to be 48 inches of yucky coming out your head talking about, yeah, this me when you doing this every time I talk to you. No.
Or
yeah, and then you patent it. You gotta pat it. It's like you gotta put some bullshit spray in it so it won't itch. It's like, why would you do that to yourself knowing that you can't keep it up?
But check this out, Brian. And my wife, she works at a certain school, right? She's getting a teacher's license, so you have to go through so many hours.
Getting them hours in, yep.
Yeah, and so cosmetology. When she went to school, she learned about hair health. She said they're not learning hair health anymore. They learn how to do braids, weave, right?
Yep.
Probably sew-ins. I think sew-in is probably one part of it. But they learn all of those different things, but not how to keep up your hair, because I guess the industry has shifted to that you want all of these different stuff in your hair. So it's a bunch of bullshit. But I'm like, and she's like, and she has to kind of reteach these girls or teach them, like, hey, this is how you do this is how you do that, and this is how you keep it. And then, but even more, when some women come in and you say, I gotta cut that, it is a very contentious issue. You ain't cutting nothing. They'll keep the dead hair that's there. They'll keep the dead hair that's there.
Look, I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm gonna give them that. The fact that they will, I'm gonna give the fact that black women was lied about weave and stuff being a protective hairstyle. I'm gonna give them that they were lied to about perms, not damaging their scalp and the chemicals in their hair. I'm gonna give them that. I'm gonna say that the white racist system of cosmetology wanted to dupe black women into contributing and being a part of $1 billion hair business. I'm gonna give it to them. But what I won't give to them is after they saw the weave that was in somebody's head for 3 months and they lost all their hair and y'all still did it. I'm not going to give them the fact.
That's alopecia.
I'm not going to give them the fact when they came up with this new term called traction alopecia, because the braids are so tight that it's literally stressing the hair by the roots and pulling it out. And y'all still went and got it. I'm going to give you the fact that when y'all did see people with these braids in their head and wrapped up and all that kind of stuff, the braids were so heavy that they would literally hurt their necks to where they could not keep it in their head, and y'all still did it. The fact that people would have bugs, and I'm talking maggots, roaches, whatever else that crawled on
wife tells me the story,
living in their hair because they had it in there for so long that it bred and was able to live and survive in its own ecosystem of yucky hair. I'm gonna give you that, but you still did it. And then with all of those things that we have seen over the years, that we have seen, not the people that get the shit put in, but everybody has seen the glue, the perm, all of this shit that you all have seen, all of the negative effects, because we have had at least 4 generations of people who've been wearing weave in their hair, or 3 generations of people that have wear weave in their hair, what they look like when they get old. You show me the old woman or a woman that's in her 50s or 60s that was wearing weave. You show me their hair now, and ain't none of them got a decent head of hair. Ain't none of them. I mean, not one. There's not one person that says, "Oh, I've worn box braids for 30 years, and you see how my hair is." It's so not. No, they all are bald, literally like bald, clean shaven bald. They have a fade or low cut fade like I got, or they have a short natural. And the reason why, because their hairline is either pulled all the way back and pushed back, or the hair has damaged their head to the point to where they have those bald spots throughout their hair and they can't grow hair.
Well, my mother, she has a fro now, but my mother, I remember in the morning, getting that curling iron, turning it around, put it on the stove, turning it around, or the hot comb, combing her hair out and bringing it down, right, and getting ready to go to work every morning. You know, she used to smoke cools back in the day. Yeah, I know. I told you a secret, Mama. I know. But she used to smoke cools back in the day, and she'd have her coffee. She had to have her cup of coffee in the morning, get ready for work. But she would get up there and do her hair.
Yes, sir.
Right? My mother has a fro now, right? She has a natural.
Yes.
You know, all she do is pick it out, right? And she have fun with it. But never have I seen my mother wear weave, my grandmother wear weave, and my wife didn't wear weave.
That's all I'm saying, bro.
Well, let me take that back. All right, sorry. Let me take that back. She got kinky twists back in the day. Sometimes braids and whatnot, but she didn't keep it in for months on end.
Yes.
To her hair some like corn chips. And
exactly.
And one more thing before you go. She also didn't get her hair done to go out there and fight some other chick and get it pulled out.
I remember when hair pulling wasn't even a thing. You know why? Because a woman have a fucking wig on, you get your ass whooped. They would take their wigs off. Our mothers and aunties and that we knew, the 2 and few that would wear those wigs, they would take them off when they came home. And they would take them off if they getting ready to fight. Hold my wig. You say, what, bitch? And they pull that wig off. And so they were able to, I say that to say they were at least able to understand the fact, I can't keep this on my head all day, every day. Them grandmamas that would wear their wigs, they would wear them when? On Sundays. That's it. That was the thing. They knew too much of a thing is not good. So that's why they wouldn't just put the wig on and keep it on every day, all day, sleeping with it on, showering with it on, because they knew it was bad for your hair.
Well, and check this video out. So this is another video and a bunch of high schoolers or whatnot, I think. But check this one out, and you're going to love this one.
So, wig from J-Lo, shirt from AliExpress, skirt from Shein, Isabella Marant, necklace Shein, jewelry Shein, nails Mari, hair Naya, and yeah.
Shoes Rick, Supreme, Shein, G-Shock, Chrome Heart.
I got on Ricky, no. I got on Ibisu, wig J-Lo, Pershing, Ibisu, Dr. Miami, Rick.
Okay, wig from J-Lo, shirt Amiri, jeans Ibisu, Isabel Marant, jewelry from Shein.
Supreme dog, StockX, Supreme socks, jeans I don't know, shirt mall, Shein.
Travis Scott, Shein, this 777 something, Aeropostale, Shein, Chrome Heart, Shein, yeah.
Alright, thank you.
What you think, Brian?
I think that those girls are at the epitome of who they are going to be. They maxed out right now.
Yeah.
It's going to be downhill from there because
And,
that's all that they care about. They literally have shown what
that was very much vanity.
Most important thing to them and in their lives, and that's what's going to govern them. You look at them girls in 5 years, they gonna be hit, and they are not gonna look as good as they look now at this age. You're gonna see what life has done to them because that's what they think is it, and it's like that. That's all. That right there is all they care about.
Yes,
clocking it, wearing designer clothes. Is all they think. That's what life is about, and what life has to bring for them. That's it.
I mean, but Brian, we had designer clothes. We had Jabot. We had. I know we're gonna show our age. Well, we had Jabot. We had all that stuff. But
was that it though?
No.
Was it Jabot or no? Was it Jordans or not? I can clearly tell you when I was able to wear I remember clear as day when I was able to wear Jordans. And it was when I could afford. I bought my first pair of Jordans because my mama couldn't afford no $100 pair of gym shoes or $150 pair of gym shoes. So it was like it was a thing to where yes, that was a thing, but that wasn't the only thing. Yes. And if you didn't have that, it wasn't a status symbol to where you were nothing. You was just broke, and a bunch of other people didn't have it, or it just wasn't a thing like that.
But also remember, you have more options though. But they got more options now. It's more people wearing. Back then, it was what? Nike or Reeboks? Well, Nike or Reebok.
It was Nike, Reebok,
that's what
and
the shoes.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Just with the shoes.
But even with the K-Swiss.
I'm just saying. Then it was what? Your other options. You had K-Swiss. You had Converse, and there were. That was pretty much it back then. Or you had the what was the Lottos, Diodoras, and all those that came along. But the main ones. It was 4 or 5. Now today, you got Bathing Apes, you got Nikes, you got Jordans, you got all these other shoes. But it's a thing to where you didn't have to have it. They made it to the point to where you gotta have it. And a Miri shirt, $100. We wasn't wearing no $100 t-shirt. T-shirts.
Let me tell you something.
$100? No way, bro.
No way.
But I get it. How the times have changed and the fashion has changed. I get that 100%. All I'm saying is that it was a thing to where you knew what you had and you knew what you could afford, and there was still life after that. There still was, even if you wore Pro Wings. If you wore them Pro Wings or you wore them Walmart specials, whatever the case may be, you just shut up and you didn't talk about shoes, but you wore them.
Yep. And Cortez had a good question. Who paid for all that? I'm pretty sure the parents paid for all. Even if the parents didn't pay directly for it, they gave them the allowance or the school stuff, and they went and bought whatever it was. Sheen. I don't even know how much really Sheen cost. My wife talks about it. My son knows something about Sheen.
Bro, I don't even know what Sheen is.
I think it's a website. I want to say it was like what was that magazine back in the day where you get your sports stuff from? East Bay. I'm just guessing. It's kind of like East Bay, but it got all type of clothes. It got female.
Have no clue. I have no clue what that was or what that is, but I do understand the fact that yes, these young folks are into their thing. I ain't knocking that at all.
Exactly.
They are. Shout out to my man Calvin Diggins. What's up, boy? I do understand that. All I'm saying is it wasn't that or nothing. And that's the only problem I see with these kids today. It's that or nothing.
Yep.
These kids now will steal, kill, and do whatever to get this stuff. And that's because they feel as though it identifies them. For us, it was a level up. For them, it's who they are. Yep. These kids will be talking about, I can't go to school unless I got this.
Or even more, they can't go to school without their hair being done. Or if they do, they're wearing bonnets. That's another thing that they're allowing in the school for them to wear bonnets. Even so much that Tuskegee University said what? You can't wear gym attire, pajamas, do-rags, and bonnets. And I'm pretty sure scarves. All of that stuff come to class looking presentable because you're gonna go out in the world. You're gonna go get a job. Are you gonna show up in some pajama fucking pants and a tire and a fucking Jiffy Pop bag on your head?
They will, bro.
Wow.
They will take your ass into a fucking Popeyes or a KFC in the depths of Mississippi, and you'll see it. Them niggas will have on that Popeye shirt and have on some motherfucking look like pajama pants. They may not be Mickey Mouse or some shit like that, but they will wear. And the reason why they're doing it, it's because they have laxed it over the years. I think that school, any school, college or whatever, man, look, I get it when you have Spirit Week. I'm cool with that. Homecoming week, no problem. Last day of school, last week of school, fine. Have fun. I'm not that guy. All I'm saying is on the everyday, you should be in a uniform.
Yes.
You just should be, because, and the other thing too is, and this is a big one that people don't want to acknowledge, how you dress determines how you act. It plays a part.
Yep.
If I got on a fucking tuxedo,
100%.
I'm not going to be the guy trying to fight. So not to say that kids need to wear tuxedos in school, and if all kids wore tuxedos, there wouldn't be fights. I'm just saying when you wear certain attire, you do conduct yourselves in different manners, in different shape, and it shapes the environment. Wearing all of one thing, it shapes the environment. It brings about unity. It puts you on one accord. That's why teams wear the same jersey. That's why they wear the same color. If the Bears go and play Sunday, we either in all whites, we either in our navies, we either in our oranges, or we in our blue and whites. It's not, oh, well, Caleb, you get to wear the orange jersey. I'm going to wear the blue. And then Colson, Lovely, you wear the
That's
white.
when the interceptions come.
Right. You don't get to do that. We all are on the same team. We're on the same accord. Now, if you want to wear a wristband or some accessories, hey, whatever, that's cool. But as far as the core uniform, you should. That's why these companies do it. That's why when you go into Apple, like I brought up about Apple, when you go and you see these people, they all got on what? Polos and khakis. It's branding. It creates a vibe.
Because you are the company.
Yes.
You're the face of the company. You're going to be one out there. And you know what? Another thing is, even you look at Chick-fil-A, you have to be presentable. Now, you may look at McDonald's, you got a motherfucker coming in there with his pants sagging. You got a motherfucker that, they don't want to be there. But for some reason, I guess either Chick-fil-A is treating their employees right, or they doing something right, because I always get good customer service.
Code. And that's the other thing too with Chick-fil-A. You got to take a personality test to work at Chick-fil-A.
I didn't know that.
You just don't show up and put in the app. Them tests that they had, the applications that they had, those are personality tests. Same thing with Best Buy. That's why Best Buy had a certain type of person work there that was successful. They had to be a certain type, because you want to make sure that what you are presenting and what your image is and what your brand is, you want to make sure that your employees are representing that. Why would we not have that in school? This is not just a place for your ass to come and hang out for 7 hours a day. No, this is a learning institution. If I go to NASA, is everybody in NASA gonna have on fucking coochie cutters and fucking jogging pants? No, they have a uniform. Business casual, that's a thing. Business formal, that's a thing. So it's like, why would we not have that for our schools? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, somebody asked, had a super chat. I don't know if it was a $10 one, but yeah, it was.
Was that what Calvin put in there? He said, "What up, Brian? Whatever community, certain school districts waste funding. I work as a paraprofessional for several districts. I let the districts, reason being no structure." Yeah,
that's not that one. That's a good statement.
Mother's Father's Church, community problems. Who's at fault of the Black community problems? Is it the mothers, fathers, the Black church, social media, the government, or is it all more shows? Or is it all more shows? Who's at fault for the Black, for who's at who's at fault of the Black community problems. Oh, I got you. Whose fault is it for the problems? It's the lack of leadership, period. And it's the fact that fathers aren't in it. It's a twofold thing. It's a double-edged sword. So you have the women who supported the men not being in the home. And you also have the fact that the men are not around to raise their children. So because of that initial thing, you now have failures in what daughters turned out to be. So you have children that are born without fathers. And when that daughter becomes a teenager, she's at risk youth. She's going to be preyed upon. So then she has a child at 13. She's a baby raising a baby. She has no leadership from her mother because her mother's just trying to survive and trying to keep the lights on. And this is just average. We're not talking about the worst case scenarios where they got niggas and all that kind of shit around that's preying predators and preying on these young girls. But then now you have a child that's not going to be raised in a stable environment. When your mother is 13 years old, how successful of a child can you really be?
To answer that question, can we squarely put it on one thing? No. I'm gonna say it's a multitude of things, but also one of the problems in the Black community, when men were taken out of the home, or even more, women are incentivized not to listen to men. When they bring out the government subsidies and everything else, right? I don't need you. I don't need no man. I'm independent, right? Just to piggyback off what you said, I know you probably said the same thing, but then also men are going to have to step up, right? Men are going to have to step up. And I mean, in the sense of that you have to take back your community, right? All this other shit. Even if you say some of these chicks, it'll be a contentious issue. It'll be a fight. But guess what? You got to say what's on your mind. Don't be scared, because now they're going to call you broke, dusty, and everything else. They're going to call you out your name to try and knock you off your pivot, knock you off your square. But if you stand 10 toes down, you stand firm, things are going to have to change, especially if you don't give them an attention that they are wanting. But go ahead, Brian.
But my thing is this. I think where we are now, I think men have to be willing to walk away from the women and from the community and start your own thing. It's like it's just like me. I would never go and live in New York or California.
Man,
I'm trying
to get out this state.
I wouldn't. It's like what, and that's just I'm just not going to live there. I would only live back in Chicago. I would never completely move. I would only live back in Chicago if it was if I had just such a financial opportunity there to where I couldn't turn it down, and I would still keep my residence here. I would not move all the way back in.
Yeah.
So it's like if I went and did something for a year or two or whatever, and I could just buy me a place in one of the nice neighborhoods, or live in a fucking condo downtown or some shit like that for a great check, yes, I would do it. But that's just because that's home. That's where I love my city at the end of the day. But I could never just live there from a day-to-day perspective. Right. And it's because the culture that's there, the way that the rules that are in place, the laws that are in place, it is not conducive to my lifestyle. The way that the Black household is ran today, with these women having the leverage and having the power that they have in the home and with children, and because of the state, men can't live and function and go back into these neighborhoods and take over. They can't do it. I can't compete with you and your $8 rent. I can't. Your rent is fucking $8, and I'm trying to tell you, bitch, you gonna live in my house, you gonna do what the fuck I say. It's my way or the highway. That bitch gonna be like, well, I'm choosing the highway because my rent over here is $8, nigga. I don't need you.
Well,
so it's like if
even in the sense of taking back control,
That's my thing. If there's gonna be a shift in power, it has to be a shift in power. I can't just show up and be in charge. I can't. It don't work like that. Power doesn't work like that. There has to be either a show of force, or there has to be a dependency on said group in order for it to be a shift. If I'm controlling if you eat or not, if I'm controlling if you're gonna be sleeping outside or inside, if I'm controlling, if you got clothes on your back and stuff like that, yes, I have leverage, and now I can dictate certain rules. I can put certain things in place, and that's some shit that can't be it can't be overturned. As long as you got the state, man, I could go show up I could go take 200 black men and go into the community, and it's still gonna be fuck shit going on. Why? Because those same hoes that then raise these ain't shit boys and ain't shit girls, they're still gonna be able to do the shit they want to do. They're still going to be able to be ratchet. They're still going to be twerking. There's still going to be takeovers going on in the city.
Man.
Why? Because you got ain't shit motherfuckers still able to do what they want to do. And until that shit comes to an end, you're not going to be able to shift that power. And I hear people say that all the time, talking about, well, if the men just get back in the community. Niggas is in the community right now.
They are. They
just ain't respected. Why? Because there's no dependency on them. You don't need you, and that's why I say I can take 200 niggas to the fucking hood right now, and they just gonna be like, "Oh, that's nice seeing all these men in the neighborhood. That's nice. These men in the community." It ain't gonna change shit. It's not, because there's no need for that. Nobody needs those men. It's a difference between wanting those men. It's a difference between having those men, and it's a big difference between needing those men. When there is a need, then there is a certain level of submission I must give in order to have that need filled.
We got another question in the super chat. Great show, Brian and Corey. How much do you think our politicians and our voting play a part in the black community rise and fall moving forward? A very big one. And we talked about the government dependency. We have more women that depend on the government. And this is a story that I had. A guy told me, it's third party, but he told me he was working one day, and he working full time. The chick working part time. She's like, "Ooh, I'm working too many hours. I ain't trying to work that many hours because I don't want to lose my Section 8. You know how it is. You work too many hours, make too much money. They take you off Section 8. She don't want to better herself. She wants to depend on the government to keep taking care of her because she just doesn't want to fucking work. She just wants this little part-time job to get some health benefits in order to, take care of her kids, or give the kids health benefits. But more or less, she doesn't want to expand beyond that. She just want to do ratchet shit. So yes, I do see that. I'm gonna be honest and frank with you. I do see how the Democrats, they want you to stay dependent on them. And I speak from a standpoint of, I stay in Illinois, and you're from Illinois, you're from Chicago. I'm from the Chicagoland area. I stay here. I see the laws that they pass. I see the pandering. I see the bullshit. I see that they will keep on bending the knee to these demands, these wild demands, right? And nothing is getting better. Taxes, we're like, I think we're third in the nation as far as the highest taxes. Crime is still high in Illinois. I don't care what the governor says. I don't care what the mayor says. It's still high. So you're paying all this money for the least representation, and everyone has their hand in the pot. They have now with the Doge investigation, President Trump and his administration, they exposed where the money was being spent and how it was being spent frivolously. Now, I want you to triple that with Illinois, right? Even though the federal budget is bigger and we have a smaller budget, guess what? We have all of these other organizations that they funnel money through. They funnel money, they send money here, send money there, and it's coming back into their pockets or it's going to their cronies. And so we got to pay all these taxes, and then they want the middle class or people that are working to depend on them. So much so that even if we get into gun control, I can go on and on about that. But yes, the way that we vote does determine our family values. So go ahead, Brian.
When it comes to just the politicians and our voting, we will never be able to control that. And I know, and I commend those that are trying to flip Chicago red. It ain't gonna happen. Mm-hmm. The reason being is because we don't have a real base. We don't have a real community that can get on one accord. And everybody else that is a small group or a minority, they do. When you look at, and you're talking about Chicago being the most segregated city in the country. Fact. Why is it that the blacks can't vote a certain way? Why is it that the Hispanics do? When you look at Chewing and all them aldermen and shit like that, they got voted in just because they people voted for them.
Yeah, I think it's 3 of them that's running
Yeah,
for mayor.
They people voted for them. When no niggas going to vote for them, the Hispanic aldermen and all that kind of stuff, they voted. Them people got their own people in. When you look at us, we getting in who? Whatever alderman that look cool and can get in all the churches. Whoever can win that, they in there.
The
That's just how
elections.
we vote.
Yeah, the elections here are so bad that if you run as a Democrat, all you got to do is win the primary, and you're gonna
That's
get
it.
into the seat.
And you're gonna get in there because you got to look at it like this. Most of us don't even really care about voting, especially for local elections. And then the people that do, they're either already bought and paid for and rolling with a certain group that then got promised some shit, or they in cahoots with the politicians, like your pastors and so-called community leaders and your what do they call them other people? The
Community
grassroots
activists.
community activists.
Yeah.
They already in. They already with the bullshit. They're just baby politicians. That's all it is. Them Andrew Youngs and all them niggas, they are in cahoots and they with the shits with the motherfuckers. That's why they're able to do what they're doing. And it's like when you have that in there, if you don't have control over your politicians, you ain't gonna have no control over the money. Just like I put in the chat, in our private chat earlier, the Chicago Board of Education just approved a $9.96 billion budget for CPS.
Wow.
Y'all tell me, where in the fuck do you see $9.96 billion in the schools? Where's it at?
Or what?
Show me. That's $10 billion. For look, we ain't talking about the state of Illinois. We're just talking about CPS, the Chicago Public School System. What? Maybe 150 schools?
150 schools.
200 schools, maybe 300 schools. It's 300 schools at max. I ain't Googled it, but we can.
No, it's 100. I think it's 200. It's not 350. I think it's 200. Like you said, I haven't Googled it. I was reading. I think it says it in this article.
I'm just saying, if you Google that and see how many schools are in Chicago public schools, and you take $10 billion, I guarantee you could divide that amount of money up to where each school would have so much money to have everything that they would need, to where they wouldn't need to have a fucking $10 billion a year budget.
Let me read this right quick because I want to. This is from Chalk Beach, Chicago, and this article was written 2024, right? And I think it might have been updated, but 3 different authors. So when Natasha Tyler attended Lincoln Park High School in 2018, she noticed that her school had an unofficial dress code that seemed to be enforced disproportionately on Black and Hispanic girls. For example, Lincoln Park made students who wore shorts whose shorts were deemed to be too high cut. Just moving around. You know how it is with the ads. Too high cut, wear gym clothes for the rest of the day. And security guards responsible for enforcing the policy tended to target fuller-bodied Black and Hispanic girls as opposed to their white peers, says Tyler, who was Black. They had to point that out, right? Tyler graduated from Florida Atlantic University in 2022 and currently works as a firefighter in Georgia. But she still thinks about what she believes were unfair conditions in her high school. It was hard to dress sometimes in the summer because it was so hot and the school didn't have AC. But if you happened to show too much of your legs or something, you'll get in trouble. She said, I remember thinking it was ridiculous to control what someone wears in a hot classroom. Across Chicago public schools, low-income Black students and other students of color are more likely to attend high schools with a dress code, according to data for the 2023 and 24 school year. Schools that maintain strict dress codes are more likely to enforce punitive discipline, such as suspensions and expulsions, said Jacqueline Nowicki. Them Polish names be messing me up. A director at the U.S. Government Accountability Office who has published research regarding inequities in public schools. Numerous studies show that dress codes are not equally enforced across the country, with students of color being pushed for infractions, even though they did not commit them at a higher rate. This unequal enforcement dress code and other punishments can lead to students of color dropping out of school or having to repeat a grade. A Northwestern Chalkbeat analyst of CPS data on the Chicago data portal found that 94 of Chicago's 169 schools, or 55.6, currently have dress codes. Of those high schools, 93 have Black or Hispanic polarity of students, while nearly three quarters of their 357. I'm always gonna mess that up. Students are listed in the city data as low income. CPS defines low income or economically disadvantaged students as students who come from the families whose income is within 185% of the federal poverty level line, according to a budgeting presentation for the fiscal year of 2023. They got a map right here where it can show you, all the different schools and who has dress codes. Right, we can go through that, but that's one thing. Let's see if I can finish this up. I know this is probably one author. At all but 8 Chicago public high schools, a majority of students are listed as low income in CPS data. 6 of the 8 schools with low income population below 50% do not enforce official dress codes. All 8 schools have white population exceeding 20%, more than double the average white population of 8.78% across Chicago high schools. 4 of the 8 schools have a polarity of white students. What do you think about that?
Come on, gang. Stop the cap. That's my man Daddy would say. Bro, this is this is just fucking made up bullshit. You telling me that kids are saying I'm a drop out of school because of the enforcement or lack thereof, or me being singled out for the dress code? Stop playing with me. I ain't never heard of no kid saying, yeah, I ain't going back. Why? Because they made me wear these shoes. I mean, they enforced the dress code. That's a bunch of bullshit. How do you even prove that? And this is the kind of shit that pisses me off, is like, because people will put these numbers in there and you talking about white kids, they let the white kids get away with it. How are y'all quantifying that? How are you counting that up?
Someone said that the white kids get away with it. I don't think they do.
But I'm saying, let's say they are. How is a journalist able to calculate that? It's just some things that you just can't get by on me just by saying it and putting a number to it. That don't make sense. And it's like, you show me how you got that number. How did you see that there was a disparaging amount of numbers to where somebody is a group based on their race is being disproportionately held accountable for not being in uniform? How are they tracking it? If Lil Johnny or Lil Ron Tavius, if he comes to school and is not in uniform, what happens? Do they fill out a form and put kid Black, no shirt, out of school uniform, being sent home? Kid White, not in uniform, being sent home. Do they document that? No, they don't. So they can stop playing. And then if they did, how did you get access to it? Y'all making shit up.
Yep.
That's
Yep,
some
I'm-
DEI bullshit where y'all trying to mix some shit up to where a motherfucker can say, you see how they do us, it's all racist. That's a bunch of bullshit. Pull up some real numbers and show me that, because that's not even being quantified in the schools. They're not looking, they're not writing that down. It's like y'all making up numbers and then saying, well, we believe, and somebody somewhere thinking what they think they thought they saw, and that's what they're saying, that's what it is. That's a stupid stat. That's like that's just like me saying, due to a study that was done by the French Lick Institute, it showed that 77% of students that are in urban communities, they don't tie up their left gym shoe. It's been a phenomenon that's been going on. It's like, where the fuck did I get that number? And somebody will just say, that's strange. That's something really weird. As opposed to say, wait, hold on.
But I could guarantee it's gonna be a white liberal. Gonna be a white liberal saying, well, black kids can't tie their left shoes.
Yeah. It's like, how do you don't even stop to think, how did y'all get that number? It's like, we're like, who's counting that? Who's literally taking that stat down consistently every day to where you're able to determine the number of blacks versus other races that are not in uniform? Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on that all day.
Even more with that article, right? When you read that article, they went and talked to a motherfucker in Georgia. About some shit that's going on in Chicago.
That's all I'm saying, bro. But this is the thing. And most of the time, unfortunately, most of the time it's us. We let these bourgeois, so-called uppity, so-called educated niggas tell us anything. And they think because they went to a school, went to a college, and got a degree that they right. That's the problem with us. It's like we don't want to do just like with the school shit. We was just talking about the budget. I went and I thought about it. I said, wait a minute. It got to be more than 150 schools. You know what I did? I Googled it. It's 630 schools. I'm not going to just sit there and just let that shit sit out. It's 600. That's right, too. It's 630 schools in Chicago. But to get to my point of just saying, when we think about what's being spent, when we think about what people are telling us, why not just say, let me just dig a little bit into this and vet this out? Because that don't sound right. How in the hell can somebody tell me what group and what percentage of kids are being held accountable for school uniform? How did y'all figure out that kids are dropping out because of the uniform enforcement policy? What are kids doing? Are the kids taking an exit interview? Hey, Shaquita, you're not going to school anymore? No, I'm not. I'm done. Well, can you tell us why? We want to just get some information down from you. It's the dress code. So I'm like, fuck that. I got to wear Shein, and y'all won't let me wear Shein here. So I'm out. Fuck my education. Bye-bye. It's like, that's just not happening. But some bourgeois motherfuckers sitting up somewhere and they just wanted to make up some shit and they guesstimated and estimated some shit that would sound good and put it in a fucking article. That shit is ridiculous. It's like when you talking about just like what we do and how things work, we as black folks, we will just hear some shit and run with it, as opposed to saying, well, wait a minute, hold on. Let me put a little more thought into this. Because my point of it wasn't about me being right about the schools. The point was the amount of money that the schools have based on the budget. And like I said, 630 schools.
Yeah.
Imagine if you split up $10 billion. You know how much each school would get? Almost $16 million a piece. That's an outlandish number for a school, ain't it? It's outlandish. So let's cut it in half.
But even more, think about what the rest of the state is getting versus CPS.
We don't even want to go down that rabbit hole, bro. Let's just stay $16 million. Let's cut it in half. And let's say $8 million per school. Imagine what each of our Chicago public schools would have if they had $8 million to cover and that's covering everything. That's covering the building. That's covering your lights. That's covering your staff, your salary. That's covering your pension, to keep the groundskeeper Willie that you want to have there to cut the grass, shovel the snow, put the salt down. All $8 million. You mean to tell me if you, Corey, if you was a student, if you was a principal, and somebody gave you an $8 million budget, would books be a problem in your school?
Hell no. Computers.
That's all I'm saying. And this ain't no one-time thing. This is every year. Nigga, we can we can buy White Castles for them kids every day for school and lunch with an $8 million budget. Man, we eating Chick-fil-A.
If you budget it right. If you budget it right. But that's the thing. They're not budgeting right. Let me read this right quick. In Detroit, they paying kids $100 for going to class this year. Not learn or make good grades, but go to class. Why Chicago follow suit? These hoes don't know how to raise functioning kids.
But you know why they doing that? Do you know why they doing that? Why they paying the kid $100? Because every kid that they have that's enrolled, the federal government pays the school.
Yes.
Thousands.
That's right. I didn't even think of that. You are 100% right.
So when I give a motherfucker $100 to get 15,000, hell yeah. Shit.
Yeah. Bring your ass to school.
Hell yeah, bring your $100. Come on to school, my man. You come to school for 30 days. I got you on the books. I got you on the roll. I can submit that down to the federal government, and they're going to give me $15,000 for your black ass. On top of the budget, on what I get. I got this many enrolled. They're going to give me this much in dollars. And then, we not even thinking about that shit.
But even more, think about it. The teachers union here in CTU, they wanted more money.
Yes.
Think about the budget that you just laid out.
He just got him a raise.
Yes. Yes, I know. Think about the budget you just laid out. $8 million per school that you just laid out. Well, first of all, it's $16 million per school.
Yes.
That was just laid out. And you mean to tell me that you can't function, you can't take care of what you need to take care of?
That's all I'm saying, bro.
And now
on a budget I cut in half. It's a $10 million budget. I literally cut it to 5 and still was able to say, well, goddamn, we can give each school this amount of money. So when they talk about the government and they talk about Trump and try to bullshit Trump on how he said the federal government is spending $50 billion on the Board of Education. That ain't got shit to do with the state. That ain't got shit to do with the tax money. The federal government is giving $50 billion to the Board of Education every year, the federal Board of Education. And he wanted to get rid of it. That's why I supported it. Because we ain't learning shit. Our kids are as dumb as they've ever been. And I would rather Donald Trump give $1 billion to each state than to sit here and motherfucking keep running a budget of $50 billion with a bunch of motherfuckers in Washington, D.C. doing what? If my kids are in the classroom, you tell me this. What discipline can I teach not being in the classroom? I can't teach karate. I can't teach football. I can't teach baseball. I can't teach science. I can't teach basketball. There is nothing that you can teach by not being in the classroom. You have to be with the group. So all of this other shit, all of these other agencies that's within the Board of Education, y'all are literally getting free money because y'all ain't doing shit. I could literally just say, hey, look, we need a person to audit. We need a person to write the checks. And pretty much we just need a person to run shit like payroll and shit like that. You could probably run each school or the Board of Education or each school with about maybe 200 people. I just want to make sure that the money's getting sent, the money's getting spent, and the money's being spent properly. That's all I need. I don't need all that other shit. Well, we have the director of curriculum and all. Man, I don't need none of that. Get in the classroom. Teach. Every state should have what the curriculum is. We want to teach math, science, English, social studies. That's what we're going to teach. And that's it. You take the money and put it in the schools. I don't need to have some bureaucracy building, some tall ass fucking skyscraper with 8 floors of niggas that ain't gonna set foot in a classroom. Why?
Yep. I want you to think about something. So check this out, right? You know how they say, the Democratic states are, they're the most educated and whatnot. U.S. literacy rates by state. Illinois 20.4. Right now, California is 28.4, and look at Texas 28.2. Arizona 29.1. Louisiana, as they call it, that's the poorest state in the United States.
That's Mississippi, right? But they right there with them.
Mississippi has made some strides. Let me tell you something. Mississippi was one of the worst, right? Since they started testing and went back to the basics with phonics, their literacy rates exceeded Massachusetts. Exceeded.
I would say with them numbers that you just said, you just ran off.
Yeah.
I think it just proves that our way right now ain't working.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that nobody's saying we need to change it, nobody's saying, well, what's the problem? And you got a fucking school that got a $10 billion, I mean, not a school, but a school district that got a $10 billion budget, and your kids ain't reading. Your kid, the Chicago public school system ain't even in the top third, ain't even in the top half. They're not even in there.
Nope. I'm gonna put up CPS's literacy rate also, Chicago public schools.
That's all I'm saying.
So, what was that? Okay, there we go, right there. All right. So in 2022, the literacy rate among U.S. adults stands at 79%, indicating a significant majority with reading proficiency. Conversely, 21% of adults across the nation lack basic literacy skills. Furthermore, a substantial portion, 54%, exhibit a literacy level below that of a 6th grader. This data underscores the ongoing need for literacy initiative and educational support within the adult population of the United States. All right, so
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what this is saying. This is then if anybody wants to look this up, this is from USA Data Hub. All right, and yeah, so yeah. So I'm looking through this, right? Top 10 states: California, Texas, Mississippi. Top states with the highest population, low literacy. I'm reading wrong. All right, so yeah, bear with me. They're saying New Mexico. They're saying California has a has a low literacy rate. They're saying Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, New York. Right, those top 10 right there. And with the highest one, now New Hampshire, Alaska, Vermont, Minnesota, Montana, Maine, North Dakota, Wyoming, right? The lowest population with the lowest literacy rate.
This is ridiculous, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know what? Hold on, let me see if I can find this.
Yep. If you want to put it up there, you can.
Is that it?
What do you look for?
All right, check this shit out. So that's what you just talked about. Let's look at this on a global scale. Let me see if I can share this. Is that video image screen? There we go. So watch this shit.
Let's see where it's at. Where's that? Okay, I see it.
You can see it now. There you go. You can put it up front. Let's see.
Okay.
It should be asking for you to present, or if I can present it.
All right, so it's telling me to move the other one out. That's what I had to do. So
there we go.
There we go.
Right. Now look, countries with the highest literacy rates in the world. 100%. Andorra, Finland, Greenland, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Norway, Ukraine, Ukraine,
Ukraine.
Uzbekistan, North Korea, Latvia, Belarus. Look at all of these countries.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Now, these are countries all across the world.
Mhm.
This is 100 to 99% literacy rate, which basically means everybody can read. That's pretty much what you're saying. Everybody in the mother can read and understand, reading comprehension. Now let's go over here. Lowest literacy rates in the school. Why would the countries lowest literacy rates, the number one, Chad, Mali, South Sudan, Botswana, Afghanistan, Niger, Central African Republic, Somalia. Look at their literacy rates and look at what you was just saying about ours. That's insane.
That's insane.
That is insane. We're talking about classic, what did Trump call them? The shithole countries of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Those people with little to no money can at least teach these people how to read. I just say that to say this. Because, hey, some of these countries could be lying. Some of these countries could be, fudging the numbers, but not to the tune of where they're 100% and like what? They are not even close. So with a country that says it's 100%, well, I know Finland and like Switzerland and those motherfuckers. I know Finland is up there because they really big on education. I think they're like number one in education in the world. I'm almost certain. I'm almost sure of that. That's what it is. But I'm just saying, let's say Andorra is not 100%, but it's 97. Let's say that Greenland ain't 100%, but it's 92. The point I'm making is none of these schools are sitting here having, especially in these shithole countries, they don't have not even a fourth of the funding we have, and we can't get it done. But they're over there with little to none, and I just say that to let you know, yes, there are certain amenities that we want to have. These kids ain't learning in no fucking shotgun church house that's the schoolhouse throughout the week. No. But with the funding that we have available, if we can't even compete and beat the shithole countries that are the worst, that means we're not even close to competing to the countries that are the best. That's not a problem with funding. That's a problem with the management of funds. That's the bureaucracy that has this the way that it is.
But also parenting.
Yes.
Because
and
the
culture,
parents,
yes.
Yeah, culture. Because if you think about it, Japan, China, even if you look at some of the African countries, they stipulate what? They stipulate that you need to go get your education. And they'll sit there with them and they'll work with them. And the kids will work with them. Even if they can get a tutor, if they got somebody in their village. However it is, they're going to work with their family. Instead of pointing to the notebook, listen here, little nigga. 2 plus 2 is what?
Or the thing is this. You more concerned about getting your kid a Louis Vuitton belt than you are making sure your kid got that they can read and write. We love to reward bad behavior, especially in our community.
Yes.
So it's like, if my kid can't read, why would I be? I mean, I've taught my kids, hey, look, you going to school is like your job. Just like how daddy got to get up, mommy got to get up every morning and go to work. Your ass got to get up and you got to go to work too. You go to school, that's your job.
So this is co-pilot search, right? Take it for what it is. I'm pretty sure we can look at Illinois policy that would tell us some stuff. But Chicago faces significant literacy challenges with fewer than 1/3 of students reading at grade level.
You're not showing that. You showing the chalk beat.
Okay.
Fabricated article. Yeah.
Let me go back. All right. Let me show that. Where's that?
So you got to take that one off and put it on the other one.
I know which one. I know what I'm doing. I think this is the one. Let's chalk beat again. All right, people know. I'm still new at this, people. So let me get it.
You got to select the other one. So when you go to it, just remove the chalk beat one, and then the one that you want on the screen share. Then just do it that way. I mean, on the document thing, and then they'll let you pick which one it is. Yeah.
Chicago literacy rate.
But yeah, that's just, it just goes to show you how it's not necessarily always a thing about resources. It's more about prioritizing and what do we really care about?
Mhm.
What is it that we are really concerned about? There we go.
Here we go. All right, Chicago faces significant literacy challenges with fewer than 1/3 of students reading at a grade level and adult literacy efforts ongoing through community programs. Student literacy. In Chicago public schools, CPS, literacy among students remains a major concern in 2024. Only 30.5% of third through eighth grade students met reading proficiency standards, while 22.4% of 11th graders could read at grade level. These rates are below pre-pandemic levels, highlighting persistent learning gaps. Low income and minority students are disproportionately affected. Only 23% of low income students, 25.5% of Hispanic students, and 22.6% of Black students in grades 3 through 8 met reading proficiency standards. Chronic absentee further exacerbates these challenges, with many students missing significant portions of the school year.
That's crazy, bro.
That first paragraph tells you a fucking lot. So when they sit there, I had a discussion. I had a panel not too long ago, probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, right? These dudes were saying, and they were trying to argue from a standpoint of that Illinois is better with education than it is Indiana or Republican states. And I said, no, they're not. And he was like, yes, they are. And he tells you some article, look it up. And I look it up, right? So when I look it up, what Illinois is doing, and this is why you got to read in between the lines. This is why you got to look more into what someone is saying before you actually come out there and say it. Illinois does have more graduates that go through college than Indiana. But you know, on the other side that Indiana has, they have more people going into trades. And the literacy level in Indiana is higher than Illinois.
Wow.
And I asked him, I said, how? And I said, how do you quantify, how do you even say that Illinois is doing better? He said, look at the literacy test. When I looked at the literacy test and I compared the two, Indiana is doing better at literacy than Illinois is. And they have a what budget? $16 million per school budget.
They could. Got a $10 billion budget.
$10 billion budget.
And you're not even at 50%. I get it. Shit happens. I understand that the system could be going through transition. Shit may be broken. But just think, if you are not even halfway, what are you doing? If you're not halfway, it's not broken. It's broken on purpose. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. It's not like, we was at the top, but then such and such got taken away from us. We lost this or we lost that. There was a shift in it. No. You're talking about not even a third or barely a third are literate. That's on purpose. That's not by happenstance. That's not some lean on me shit where the school just slipped and we just fell behind and couldn't get it together. No, that's gross mismanagement, gross bad leadership. That's all that comes down to. And there is nothing that you could run. There's nothing that you could have as far as a business, as far as any type of thing, to where a third of functionality or a third of success is what's acceptable. There's nothing. Nothing you can do and say at a 30% clip, we doing good.
Now, I put this picture up here because I wanted to show. It's kind of shifting a little bit because we're getting right back to the top. In certain aspects, this is not highlighted. And this picture is from 2026, or I want to say 2026, 2025, one of them. But what this is in Chicagoland area. What we used to have, it used to be highlighted. Well, I wouldn't say, I can't say that it was necessarily highlighted, but I knew of it. I don't know if you ever heard of, but the cotillions they used to have, or the balls or the Met Galas they used to have for high school students back in the day. And I heard about it. And I was like, damn, I would like to go to one of them. And, I like to dress up in a nice tux or a nice suit and whatever, and learn all the other stuff. But this is not highlighted. What is highlighted is what?
God damn, pants on the ground.
Right.
On the ground.
Hands on the ground. Then I went and I looked and I said, hey, you see that? That's in 1960. I'm typing, I specifically said cotillions in 1960. Those are women, right? Those are women back then. Just cotillion.
Yeah.
They had class. They had all the other stuff. What we have today is this.
When she walk, clap when she walk.
It's not even popping up. You can take the other
Can't
one off.
see it. Yep.
I got you.
Clap when she walk, clap when she walk. She shaking ass everywhere.
That's what we have today.
Clap when she walk.
Right? TikTok, social media, and everything else instead of meeting, talk to people. And I don't know how many relationships came out of those cotillions, right? Can't quantify, didn't do the numbers, whatever it may be. I can't tell you how many success stories came out of it. But at one point, right, even if you go back to the 1960s, even if you look at that, there's a small sequitur right now. This is not getting, it's not getting the what's name, the notoriety that it deserves. It's out there. They're not going to that. They're going to this. They're going to the TikTok.
Yeah.
They're going to the twerking, right? Hey, as a man, of course, you look at your twerk. But here's the thing: is that all you have to offer?
Exactly. But here's the thing too: the cotillions, the quinceañeras, the former galas, all of that stuff. You know what those were originally for? Those were basically events put together to show, hey, you are becoming a young lady or young man, and this is how you conduct yourselves in a formal setting, and we're going to celebrate that. So it's just like with prom. It's just a formal dance for your school, for your classmates, for those that are graduating. That's what that is. To prepare you for formal events throughout your life, whether it's something at your job for your career, whether it's something as iconic as your wedding, things like that. It prepared you for anniversaries, retirement parties, even family reunions. I remember at the family reunion, there was a formal dinner night. We used to have, I can clearly remember when I was a kid in our family, we used to have family dinners.
Yes.
Once a year where we would all get up and go to a banquet hall and we would have to dress up. You would either be in a suit, you would be in a tie, shirt, sweater, something, but we would literally get together as a family, and it was one of those things to where you learned how to conduct yourself in a formal setting. So those things that we had and that we did, they were for a reason and for a purpose, so that if you do have to attend or if you have to be the guest of honor, you knew how to conduct yourself. But today, our young people ain't thinking about getting married.
No.
Our young people ain't thinking about going to formal settings and going. The most that they will do is a prom. And all they want to do in a prom is they want to look dead. They want to have be in a Lambo, or they want to have, the money machine, and they want to have the smoke and stuff come out, because that's the only celebration that they're probably formal celebration that they'll have in their lives. I'm gonna get a helicopter. We're gonna get a jet. We're gonna get a Rolls Royce, and we'll ride around for about 7-8 hours, and then that's it.
And then, speaking of the helicopter, there was an official here that Park District. I can't remember what Park District it was. She used the Park District money somehow, some way to rent a helicopter, and could it be hyperbole? Who knows? But she had rented a helicopter. No matter what, either she spent the money or she spent the people's money. But they had a helicopter to where they flew in, and the police had to try to stop the shit, but there was no ordinance on it, right? They couldn't really arrest anybody, but then they were trying to stop it, and then so they just took pictures with it and whatnot. But still, the helicopter was rented. She couldn't fly to prom in the fucking helicopter, right? But you
So
spent
what
all that
end
money.
though? That's the thing though. They're extravagant, and you're doing all of this to what end?
Mhm.
Why would I have to have a Lambo?
Mhm. Exactly.
I'm not, and let's just say, hey, you got somebody, you got that uncle that got a nice car. What's that CL Smooth? But Uncle Sterling always had the nice car, whatever.
Mhm.
I get it. But why would I go and rent a hearse? Why would I go and have a come out party where I come out and I'm in a casket? Why would I do, to what end am I doing this? And that's the problem. It's like we will waste money on the most frivolous things and try to make it seem like it's so important, because I can guarantee you there's a good percentage of kids that have gone on proms that ain't graduated.
Oh, the shit. Them motherfuckers got a 1.3 fucking GPA, and I'm gonna spend $10,000.
Exactly. I got on a $2,000 suit. I got on $1,000 shoes. I'm in a $160,000 car, and I'm going where? To go to the fucking dance hall or the gym at the school, and then I'm gonna bring my motherfucking ass over to Waffle House, and then that's it.
So,
or my mama done bought me and my friends a hotel room for the night, and we gonna do a bunch of stupid shit, might get some pussy or whatever, but that's it.
Exactly. So, I put this picture up. This was a picture that was circulating on the internet. I've seen it a while back, and I think maybe everybody's seen it and whatnot. But it still shows the class back then, that even though you wanted to be like your father, you wanted to dress like your father, you wanted to put on your tie. I remember my father died, I was 8, right? When I was 8. So I remember my uncle Mose, my great uncle, actually my grandmother's sister, not the sister, but brother. I'm fucking up. My grandmother's brother. He had this nice Dob hat, right? He put on his suit, and I remember one time I got fresh. Man, I got fresh. I felt fresh. I put on a suit and tie and everything. I was going to catch the bus, and my uncle, my actual uncle, my mother's brother, drove the bus, right? Pace bus out there in Maywood. He used to drive the one down Madison, and he seen me in it. And man, I was proud of that, because I had a suit on, and that's when I felt my nice, was putting a suit on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I my thing was never said, well, I can't say never, but it never was a big thing for me to sag my pants.
Yeah.
Right? I seen a dude get his ass whooped, sag his pants. Motherfuckers can't even run from the police when they want to run from the police because they sagging their fucking pants. Right. And it just looks sloppy as shit. Well, the whole thing that they say, it started in jail, but not for the reasons that they say. A lot of people say, well, it was because that meant you was available. That's not true. Right. And one thing was because in jail, you can't have a belt. You're not supposed to have a drawstring, because you can hang yourself with that.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
they would get clothes that were bigger and it was sag, and then they bring it out to the streets. However it was, then it became a fashion statement and whatnot. It's still a tacky fashion statement. Even when I was a kid and I tried to sag my pants and I'm trying to hold them up, my mother said, "What's wrong with your penis? You trying to hold on to it? You trying to make sure it don't fall off?"
Right.
She said something about it, and I was embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
Never did that shit again. I put on a fucking belt. And especially when I went to the military, I learned to put on a fucking belt, and especially learn how to put on a belt the proper way and the proper measurements and stuff, right?
Yeah. Right. But
you learn all, and it's sad that you have to go to the military to learn that. But go ahead.
And I'm gonna and like I said, I'm trying to just see it from both sides, because we just grew up in a different time, and there were just different expectations. But even in that picture that you showed with those kids on that car, one of those kids got on some like Knickerbocker pants. The kid that's sitting over there on the left side, right? Look at the socks and look at his pants. That was the style back then. Look at the other kids; they got cuffs in their dress pants, right? Fine. All I'm saying is, and my only thing is, they are able. Those very same kids, I don't think they dress like that every day. That was probably some Easter Sunday shit. That was probably some church anniversary shit, or somebody got married. I get it. And them kids probably put on some play clothes, because back then kids had play clothes. You had your real clothes, your church clothes and your play clothes.
Mhm.
But we can't even switch it up. You go tell the average YN today, you got a funeral to go to tomorrow. You got a such and such. You got a formal event, a formal engagement. They
Mhm.
don't have a suit.
Mm.
They don't have a shirt and tie. They don't
Mhm.
know how to even tie a tie. So
Mm.
it's like there's such a thing of just, I understand that the times are different because there was a time when, you know, you wore saggy pants. There was a time when we wore used and damaged clothes where the clothes looked tattered and that was the thing. You got your goth look and all that kind of stuff. But we all knew how to switch it up and show up for formal events.
Mhm.
We all knew when it was time for church on Easter or Mother's Day or Christmas. We all knew what we had to do. We didn't have to go out to the store and go shopping. We had that suit. We had those dress shoes. These kids today, they don't have none of that. They showing up in a Mary. They showing up in Sheen, going to church, going to their grandmama funeral, going to wherever. That's all they know. So they gonna sag their pants even at their grandmama funeral where it's not appropriate because they don't know how to change it up. They don't know how to switch and to understand where they are, which is why they have such a problem with uniforms. To bring it back to the school thing, that's why they have a problem with it, because the only thing that they want to wear is what the fuck they see Lil Yachty and them wear. The only thing they want to wear is what they see in the rap videos. The only thing they want to wear is what they see motherfuckers wearing on TikTok, what they see motherfuckers wearing on IG, and all of that shit is cool to them, but they don't even understand that there is a time and place for everything, and you got to be able to dress accordingly for it. They don't have that, and that's what I think the biggest problem is that we have allowed our group of people, and when we talking about black folks and all that good shit, we've allowed them to do their thing and not learn any of the traditional stuff. And because of that, they have no real grounded base on where they can actually grow up into, grow up from. We always got stories to say, man, I can remember, you know, we would do this, but shit, our mama wouldn't let us do that. I can remember a time where you literally could not wear gym shoes to church. Absolutely.
Yeah, no. And
today, we go to church in jeans and Jordans.
You know who taught me how to tie my first tie?
Who?
My mother. This is my mother. My mother taught me how to tie my first tie. I really learned how to tie a tie when I got into the Marine Corps. When I went into the military, I really, that's when you learn, you know, your double Windsor and whatnot, because your uniform had to be pristine. You, especially when it came down to Marine Corps ball, right? You out there inspecting each other. Even your medals or your ribbons, they have to be at a certain length.
Yes.
From the pocket. If I remember, it was half a centimeter.
But you know why they did that? To let you know, hey man, it ain't always fatigues. It ain't always combat boots. Sometimes you need to be able to represent who you are and represent what you do, but to be able to do it in a formal setting.
You know what? Somebody just put something in the chat, right? And you know, I'm starting, and black people lost their dignity whenever integration happened. Yeah, there's something I can agree with, and then because I'm gonna play this video, but let me know what you think about the comment.
I don't think that black people lost their dignity when integration occurred. I think black people lost their dignity when fathers got out the home because there was no accountability, and we were able to run wild, and there was no responsibility and no accountability. Latchkey kids growing up on the streets where there was no governing bodies. Once the uncles died and went away, once we lost those that was like our last frontier. Them uncles, and them uncles and them grandparents, when they got out the picture, that's when we lost our way. Because then it was open season on kids. And then those kids growing up in that dysfunction, those kids growing up without accountability and without responsibilities, those kids were the ones that got to do whatever. And then they had kids and they didn't know how to raise them, so they did whatever. And then they had kids and they didn't know how to raise them, and they do whatever. And that's what we got today. That's why the only thing they give a shit about is attention and whatever brings it.
Mm-hmm.
Getting it? I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get it.
That's why we had the crate challenge,
keep it going,
cinnamon challenge, ALS challenge, with all that shit on fucking social media. They had all them different challenges. Motherfuckers was breaking their neck, choking on fucking cinnamon, right?
I'll
just for fucking attention.
Just so I can get the attention. Because that's all I care about. Attention. And it's just like, and it's a natural progression, because when you think about it like this, what do kids want? Kids want structure and they want attention. And when you don't give them structure, they want to overdose on attention. That's it. All of the shit they doing today. It's all for, I want to be known. I want to be this. I want to have likes. I want to have views. I want to get this. I want to get this. So people are looking at me and talking about me. See me. Look at me. Watch me. Because when you don't get that at home, you're craving it out in the world. My daddy ain't here to tell me I'm pretty. My daddy ain't here to show me what to do, what's right. My daddy not here to tell me don't have your titties out. My daddy's not here. I'm going to have my titties out because the boys like it and my mama doing it.
And yes, and the mama joining in. The mama's
because
joining
she
in.
Did it.
Yeah, she did it, and then she continues to do it. She doesn't say, I'm the older one.
Her mama was the one that did it. That's the thing. I can clearly remember how our mothers in those generations ahead of us and those fathers started letting their kids do whatever they wanted, because they wanted their kids' approval. They wanted their kids to like them, and they let them run wild. And those kids had kids, and those kids had kids. That's why I said them 3 generations fucked us up. And it started with it started with our grandparents when they started dying, and them kids that came from them and them parents, and that's when it got fucked up. Because the reverence I had for my grandmother, these parents, these kids, they ain't got that kind of reverence unless they grow. My grandmama ain't had to buy me shit. I never went to my grandma like, Grandma, can you please buy me this? Can you please get? I loved on my grandmama, and I just wanted my grandmama to love on me. That's it. And fry that chicken and cook that good food and all that stuff. But I'm just saying that's all I wanted.
Let me play this for you. And this is kind of going to the comment that I had put up there. And, you know, I played it at the beginning of the show. I'm going to play it again for all of your audiences out there looking.
No matter where they live or with whom they work, when it comes to social activities, most Negro Americans, frozen out of the white mainstream, constitute a veritable society within a society, largely paralleling but separate from the various levels of social structure found among whites. This Waldorf Astoria debutante cotillion, given semi-annually by the New York chapter of a leading Negro women's club called the Girlfriends, is virtually identical to those held here by white groups, save for color.
The white cotillions, they have their junior leagues. Of course, you know there is no colored junior league. Well, the Girlfriends is a very friendly group of girls. They do charitable work, civic work, and it's a social group. I have a lot of white friends, and I think the ones that I have, they like me as me, and they like to work along with me. But I don't think that they want to particularly invite me to their homes, to their parties, which is perfectly all right with me. And you wouldn't want to go? Oh, I mean, their friends and I probably wouldn't have anything in common, and we probably would. We don't know that. Wow. We meet together on certain bases, but I don't expect to be invited to their parties, and I'm sure they wouldn't enjoy coming to mine.
In recent years, however, there has been some increase in integrated social affairs, such as at the annual Evening of Elegance held last summer at Mrs. Sidney Poitier's Westchester estate. Invited guests paid $60 per couple for an elaborate evening of cocktails, dining, and dancing.
I think that many people in this country who are white, they come in contact with Negroes through advisory boards and benefit committees, and this in itself brings about a certain amount of communication. People can sit down over a cocktail and talk about the world's problems. This in itself is a form of dovetailing into society, into the mainstream. These are the people who are called upon to contribute to every cause, to every organization, to every social agency. $100 a ticket for this, $200 for that, for a couple to go somewhere for the benefit of someone else. The entire involvement of these groups involves participation and giving of themselves, of their money, of their time to those less fortunate than they. In this respect, yes, there is a Negro society.
Man, when I take my family on a vacation, we want to relax. We don't want any problems with prejudiced white folks. So we go where we know we won't be bothered.
That may be down home to visit the family, up to Canada or Cape Cod, or even abroad to Europe or Africa. One popular vacation spot among Negroes is the resort town.
How long
of
is
Bluff,
this?
Massachusetts, situated on Martha's
About
Vineyard.
this, we got probably like a minute more. There's 3 minutes now. If you want me to pause it, I'll
No, go
pause.
ahead. I'll wait. That's why I
For
just want
fun
to
and
know.
relaxation, thousands journey here each summer from all over the country, forming a sizable Negro colony which gets along with, but keeps somewhat aloof from, local and vacationing whites. Doctors, teachers, and other professionals are prominent, and many have bought and maintained summer homes for their wives and children.
Okay, guys, there.
Even the bathing suits was something to be respected of.
Places such as Sag Harbor on New York's Long Island are a specialty of Eastern club and fraternal groups, still barred from membership at most country clubs, and disgusted with attitudes at resort hotels in the Catskills.
Yeah, that's it. I was trying to clean it up a little bit, but that's it.
You know, the one thing that I noticed about that, because back then, blacks and whites were different. Just like today, black folks and white folks are different. But Rory said it. The elegance was common.
Yes.
The way that people, the decorum was common.
Yep.
The way that people dressed was common.
Yes.
The way people carried themselves, common. So I would even go as far as to say we had more in common with black folks and white folks back then than we do now. Was it not one twerking session? Was it not one session of somebody taking a selfie with their lips poked out, showing their ass, showing they wasn't no fighting, wasn't nobody cussing, wasn't nobody repping they set. And all I'm saying is, yes, it's a different time, but there was still a level of respect. There was nothing over sexualized, even in the bathing suits. Even in the bathing suits, asses wasn't out, titties wasn't out, but they were still bathing suits. Wasn't nobody trying to show up nobody by being half naked. They literally was doing what? Even with white folks and black folks alike, they were eating. I'm sure they was drinking. I'm sure they was talking that jive and talking smack, talking shit. All that shit the same. I'm sure they was all doing it. going to parties and going to people's houses, having a good time. I'm sure it was motherfuckers still getting high. I'm sure it was still motherfuckers getting drunk. But there was a certain level of decorum that they had in general. Yes, you still have your degenerates. Yes, you still have your ain't shit whites and ain't shit blacks. Yes, you still have your trailer park trash. And yes, you still have your niggas. But at the end of the day, those people knew how to and wanted to conduct themselves like upstanding people, regular people. They didn't have to exaggerate. Wasn't nobody getting all up in the camera to get attention. Wasn't nobody being overly loud. Wasn't nobody certain things that people just did or didn't do because they cared how they looked. Not so much as what people would think about them, even though they do, but they cared about how they looked themselves, and they were not just willing to do anything for attention.
And you know what happened? Nobody shot the club up. Nobody shot the club up.
And not to say that there was some nights probably in some juke joint or some hole in the wall bar where somebody might have got sliced up with a razor.
James Brown, you know
some
the story
shit
about
would
James
happen.
Brown.
I ain't saying that didn't happen. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying, but what you saying though, that ain't the norm.
Nope.
Wasn't no 8 shot in over the weekend. 37 shot over the weekend. 15 dead, 62 shot over the weekend. There was none of that.
None of that.
That's all I'm saying. And that's the difference when we talking about what we do today, because I understand that times change. And I understand that I'm unk. And I understand that I'm old school and all. I get it. But we weren't on that back then. But we on it now. And I just believe that it's fathers that kept shit like that in order.
And I'm gonna tell you one thing I noticed, and I see what you said, Roy. I'm gonna put that up there. All right. Roy says, Brian and Corey, check this out. The lady acknowledged that she wouldn't get invited to her white friend's party. She didn't scream racism. She was cool with getting her ball and taking it home. Yeah. And I want to say something to that point. If the racism that everybody's claiming that they don't want you here, they don't want you there, and everything else, what did those people do? They built their own shit.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. They were okay with having their own and doing their own thing.
And doing their own shit. Instead of saying, let me in, let me in, let me in. Yeah, just like, what did we see last night on the panel? Not on Tuesday night on the panel, where the chick was like, I'm gonna go over and disturb these white folks.
Yes.
I'm gonna go over and disturb these white folks and all this other stuff and blah, blah, blah. And no, you don't have to do that.
Yep. And that, but the thing, you know, like he said though, we were okay with doing our thing. And I think that black folks today, I don't have to get invited. My goal is not to get invited to my neighbor's barbecue. It's not. I've been living where I've been living. I have been around white folks, Hispanics, black folks. My goal ain't to get invited to their barbecue. Why? Because I know my barbecue tastes better. I know that what I do and what I like to do at my parties, other people might not like to do. And I don't want to be around it. I'm not interested in eating some white folks' potato salad. I'm not interested in eating no white folks' food. I'm really not. But
is there really a difference between white folks' food and black folks?
Would I go if I was invited? I would, but I ain't going to be there the whole night and say, yeah, I would stop by. Hey, how's it going? Maybe have a drink or two. And that's about it. I'm good. Even when I go out and I am around other races, it's okay, but that's not my thing because I'm totally secure and I'm totally fine with doing my own thing. I don't need y'all ribs. Got my own. I don't need to come over and see what y'all eat. I really don't give a shit because I'm going to eat before I come over there anyway. Or I'm not going to stay long enough to where I am hungry and gotta eat. Nope, I'm gonna come on back here. That's just me. But that lady was secure in accepting the fact that we do have things in common. But we ain't got to be best friends. I don't have to go over to their house and be invited to their stuff. And they don't necessarily have to come over to ours. Because when that Tupac come on and I'm rapping lyrics to straight
Hail Mary.
ballin', I ain't gonna expect y'all to say it. As we slang another ounce, I wish it was a kilo. That's for me and mine. That's what we do. I don't need y'all to do that. Now I can join in when it comes to Sweet Caroline. Bop, bop, bop. I do that. I like me some Sweet Caroline, but
Everybody do.
That's all that's a common thing, and everybody is. I'm okay with everybody doing their thing because I'm happy and secure in me doing mine, and I'm not trying to offend nobody, and I'm not trying to get attention and stand out neither. I just want to be able to say, hey, I'm doing my thing, you doing your thing, and if we got some things in common, we can do some things together.
Yep. I think you along the lines of how I feel too. My thing is, if I'm not invited, I'm not gonna scream for attention for you to invite me.
That's it.
You don't want me there. I don't give a fuck. My thing
and
is,
if you do, I really don't give a fuck either. But I'm okay to participate, and I'm cool with that. I ain't got no problem one way or the other.
My whole thing is this, between this whole black and white thing, my whole biggest thing is this. I want to kick it with Americans.
I want to kick it with people that's on what I'm on.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Just it. If you can show me something that I like to do, or if you can show me something new, I'm willing to experience it. Fine, that's cool and all fine and dandy. But I want to be on what I like to do. And if it's sitting outside smoking a cigar and you white or you Asian or you Congolese and that's what you want to do, we got something in common. We can do that.
And you know
that's
what?
all I'm saying. I'm leaving it at that. It ain't got to be racist. It ain't got to be that you white. It ain't got to be that you black. It ain't got to be none of that. I want to commune and be around those that are on what I'm on and like to do what I like to do. You want to sip some wine, play a little music, smoke a cigar?
Yeah.
You got me.
You know how many people like to say to me, "Are you gonna do that white people shit?" I went ice fishing, right? First time going ice fishing. Of course, it's dead winter, February. I had a fucking ball. Had a good time. Told a lot of jokes. I don't drink anymore, but they drink, and we laughed, fucking talk shit, caught fish. Right, I came back with fucking 5 crappie. Right, fried the motherfuckers up. Best fish I ever goddamn had.
Crappie good in the motherfucker, ain't it?
Yeah, good.
I got some fucking some striper bass that I got there. I went on my first charter fishing trip almost a month ago, about 3 weeks ago. I went, never been before. Had a fucking ball too.
I bet you did.
Caught a gang of fucking striper bass. I've never had fried striper bass, but I'm damn sure gonna have my wife fry me up some. Probably not this weekend, next weekend for the fish that I caught. I can't wait to go again.
I can't wait to go again either because we went in Lake Michigan for a charter. 30 fucking salmon.
There you go. See,
30 fucking salmon, right? We didn't get any lake trout, but we got 30 fucking salmon, and we had so much fucking salmon that, man, I wish I could pull the pictures up, but we had so much. It was worth the 300. I paid 300 for it, but it was worth 300. The experience and the amount of salmon fillets that you would come out with, and just the bonding time that we had.
Now I would go and do the Alaskan thing. I would go do that because they say that salmon that's in Alaska, that shit is unlike anything else in the world. It is amazing.
Yeah,
it is an amazing thing. So I would definitely do that. But man, just being able to be out and do something different like that, it's like, bro, I'm with it. That's
exactly.
I don't know if you can see that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
So it's like, man, had a blast, dude. But we all caught big size fish, small, all kind. Man, it was a great time, and I would do it again. But if somebody else wanted to hang out and do that, somebody else that's white or black, I don't have no problem with none of that.
Nope.
But I would rather go and do that with people that will want to do it than to
Mhm.
be like, man, I gotta go. I don't go out places like that only with black folks, cause you know,
Mhm.
nope.
And you
I
know
want
what?
to go with people who want to do it.
And you know, my business name, all right, Red Hill, right?
Mhm.
That came from my family and where we came from in Mississippi.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Gotcha.
It's called the Red Hill Community, down right outside of Tupelo, but Blue Springs, Mississippi. It's in between Sherman and Blue
Yeah.
Springs, right? And when I was picking it and came up with the colors, I didn't pick the red, black, and green. Because when I teach firearms, I don't care what color you are, I'm teaching you how to fucking defend yourself.
Right.
Teach you all this stuff. And we've fallen so far that we want all of this different separation. And sometimes you miss out on some of the best friends, the good time, and everything that comes with it.
Yep.
All right. But let's go ahead and get ready to wrap this up. I'm gonna give you your last word, and I'm gonna go on my monologue.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me over, man. It was a good discussion, man. Some great topics. I just really wish that we would just start to really take a good look at ourselves and what we do. And I think the biggest thing is just have a curiosity within yourself to ask why something is, and then have enough within you to just do a little research and digging into it to see what's going on. And stop just listening to what somebody's telling you, but actually going out and verifying and learning it and knowing it for yourself so that you can actually see what's going on. So you can actually know what's going on. So when you need to speak about what's going on, then you actually are coming from a place of confidence and you're coming from a place of certainty to where you know it and understand it. So if somebody does ask you a question, you don't have to say, oh, you just cooning, oh, you just with them white folks, oh, you just doing what them MAGA fools is doing. You can actually question and be questioned and have an actual dialogue with somebody.
Yep. Brian, as always, I know my people probably know where to find you at. Just in case we got anybody new in here, what can they find you at?
You can catch me at Brian's Brain Podcast on YouTube, on Rumble. Well, I ain't got I'm switching over my Instagram, so I'm gonna wait for that. But yeah, you can just catch me there, man. Brian's Brain, YouTube and Rumble. That's what's up.
Okay.
I appreciate you for having me, brother.
Man, I appreciate you coming, man. And
All right,
thank
Doc.
you. And to all your fans out there, thank y'all for coming in and checking out this conversation and whatnot. That's what we always got to do. All right, brother.
All right, bro. Later.
All right. Let me speak to the people for a minute. We talked about literacy rate. We talked about the fall from grace. We talked about that there's no decorum anymore. It's too much for someone to do what's right. I have to be the bad one. I have to seek attention. I have to be the one that does the most outrageous shit online, that does the most outrageous thing in front of everyone. And I understand it. I get it. You may come from a place where you were overlooked. But calling for attention and the wrong attention, any attention is not always the good intention. And young ladies, understand that you want to go out there and you may want that boy's attention. But when you go out there dressed like the hookers, don't get surprised. Don't be surprised if that dude treats you like a hooker. You wonder why little boys don't want to commit, why they don't want to, not even little boys, but young men don't want to commit or don't want relationships with you. It's the way you present yourself. You want to be something different? Cool. And be something different. Hey, I know it's a problem. Whenever someone says, cover up and you all have a problem, you don't want to hear that shit. Okay, cool. But remember, you're being treated by the way you act. If you keep on acting out of order, you'll get treated out of order. I want to thank all you. I want to thank Brian's audience for coming on over here to the Red Hill Podcast. Hopefully y'all can stay around and catch some more shows with me. You know, Brian is going to be reoccurring on here. We always have good discussions. Tuesday, make sure y'all check out Tommy Sotomayor. If you don't watch him, you need to watch him. Join Fight Club over there. Watch Brian. Hopefully I can get you all to come back and I can put on some good shows for you all. Thank you all for coming out.
They frame me in a picture, Sharpie horns on my head, every rumor like a scripture, they repeat what they were fed. Yeah, I'm walking through the whisper, let them burn me in their tails. I keep receipts in my ribcage, every scar, every DD. Call